Hey, deserving listeners, this is part 4 in my series in which I follow this story. Okay, so I looked up Jeramey's profile on TikTok, and I think this is a response to the allegations. This was recorded a day ago, so there's that.
In general, however, this is not a laughing matter. We're going to go ahead and talk about these gun accusations that have been thrown my way by a Miss Mary.
Okay, so he's admitting that he's Jeramey. I think everyone knew that, but you couldn't know for sure. So he's saying, yeah, I did date her. She's referring to me.
And we're going to throw some challenges, to say the least, at this story. So let's go ahead and dive into it.
Okay, so I will hear him out. Innocent till proven guilty, and we will take each point. Now, we just have both of their words. This is in a court of law. There's no verification of any of this stuff. They could be trolling. This wouldn't be a very wise troll that two people would participate in, but this is always thoughts. But anyway, I'll stay open. You don't have to stay open, but I'll stay open.
I didn't watch all of the videos in pure detail, only because I already know what's going to be said. This isn't the first time I've heard this. So let's just go ahead and dive into it. It's not going to be a 6, 7, 14-part video like the other ones have been. We're just going to go ahead and knock it out in one. So 1, we're going to go ahead and address the false accusations. Yes, I was falsely accused in 2016. 2, why? I wish I knew why.
Okay, that's not data. It's just, but it's fine. You know, he's saying he was falsely accused. I'm waiting for something to hold on to.
To this day, I still don't know why. The only thing that I can think of is the night that this all happened, I had discovered that she was actually going around behind my back and seeing someone else. Something that I had long suspected was happening.
Okay, so on one hand, it's possible that you would have somebody that would cheat on you and not want to be with you anymore and would call the police and claim that you threatened to kill her because she wanted to continue to cheat or she wanted an excuse to break up with you. I suppose it's possible. It's also possible that he was being somewhat truthful. Sometimes when people lie, I'm not saying he's lying, but sometimes when people lie, they will sprinkle in truth to make it more believable or make it easier to remember, or as they're recalling the event, they're obscuring some things and they're remembering others, and it's intermingling truth with lies. And if we imagine that's happening right now, which is pure speculation, total speculation, y'all, that he is lying, that he didn't pull a gun on her, but it is potentially truthful that he was paranoid about her cheating, because that would fit with the profile that she was describing of a domineering, paranoid, attachment-injured abuser. And so he's saying he was frequently thinking that she was cheating, and then he knew she was cheating around that time. It could be true. Could be true. Both could be true. She could have been cheating, and he could have pulled a gun on her. We don't have to say one person is telling the whole truth and the other person is not. There's a lot of options here.
Was able to get confirmation that night. None of this story happened. This just isn't a thing. So let's continue to go down the little rabbit trail here. So 1, let's address the whole police situation. Me being held at gunpoint, being placed in a cop car. None of this happened. The way something like that would happen is if I'm held at gunpoint, I'm placed in a cop car. Don't you think that there would be a police report over something like that? Something that serious. Don't you think there would be a police report for that?
Okay, well, I'm guessing what he's getting at is there isn't a police report, or he's claiming there isn't a police report. And there could be a number of options here. Some top options are that he's just obscuring the fact that there is, because, a lot of people, they don't look into it. But given how many views these all are getting, that wouldn't be advisable. There's another possibility that there was a police report, or there is a police report, but it is private because in some domestic violence, intimate partner violence cases, it'll be made private on the behalf of the victim, because there can be a lot of detail in these reports that can make the victim less safe. So I don't know in North Carolina, but I imagine that might be a possibility. There's probably a lot of other legal realities that I'm not aware of that could result in there actually being a police report, or maybe a police report was lost. I suppose we can add that to the list. I guess we could add to the list that she was lying, or she is delusional and doesn't remember. These are all possibilities. So he's, I think, claiming there's no police report. Okay, yeah. It would help if there were a police report, right? Police reports don't mean that it happened, because often police reports are just what they're hearing, what the police are hearing. Like, if he pulled a gun on her or not, you wouldn't necessarily know from a police report, because she would say he pulled a gun and he would say, no, I didn't. They would just write all that down. We wouldn't know.
There is no police report. Yes, you did falsely accuse me of this, but there wasn't enough to go off of because the shit never happened. So let's continue. There's no police reports, nothing available about this. I've even tried finding it. I tried finding it after it all happened. I tried finding it, a week ago at this point, because all of this stirred back up for...
Well, am I missing something, or was that just the dumbest sequence of sentences if he's trying to lie? He's like, I know there's not a police report because I tried to look for it. Well, if it didn't happen, then why would you even be looking for a police report? I guess there's an off chance he's thinking that, well, because he includes the I was at gunpoint. So meaning that the claim is he was there for the event. Because I was thinking he might think that he was out of town at the time and she called the police arrive, they make a report, the police leave, and he never knew the police came, and it was obscured from him. It was never told to him. And then years later, she's making all these claims, but the story included him being there. So in the story, he knew about the police arriving that night, right? So wait, let's rewind this.
There's no police reports, nothing available about this. I've even tried finding it. I tried finding it after it all happened. I tried finding it, a week ago at this point, because all of this started.
I didn't catch that the first time. He's saying after it all happened, he looked for a police report, meaning back then in 2016, after the event. I think he said 2016. I thought what she had said was this was all in 2013, 2014, because I don't think they were together for years, but maybe they were. Anyway, so he says he looked for it back then. Why would you be looking? Well, I think what he would say is, well, she accused me of it. Well, why would you even look? Right? Am I missing something? Because he seems to believe this is making his point. So why would he look for a report that he knows could not exist? Does he believe that she could convince the police to make up a story or to invent the detail that because again, if he was there for it, or I don't know, or he's saying, yeah, the police did arrive, but it had nothing to do with me putting a gun in her face, and so the police arrived, but they determined that there wasn't any reason to respond, and they actually blamed her. And so then afterwards, I looked for a police report, it wasn't there. And if a gun was pulled on someone, there would be a police report. Does that make sense? I mean, I guess that would be one option. We'll add that. But I don't know. I guess I'm biased against him because of not only what was in the show, but particularly because of what the individual on TikTok was saying about him. So I have to acknowledge that and just keep watching this video. Am I missing something? I don't know.
Heard back up for, again, the second time. The police department doesn't even have it. They never filed a report on it, never did anything because there was nothing to go off of. Why? Because nothing happened. So.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying, is that the police did come, but the story was way different, and therefore it was such a low-key event, or there was such a non-event that they didn't complete a police report. Okay. But if that were true, and maybe he's getting to this, you would think or hope that he would tell, okay, well then what did happen? Because according to what you're saying, the police did come.
Let's continue to go. switch this damn page.
And as I was saying a while back, there are certain markers of believability for me. I never just say, ooh, I believe completely because of these 3 reasons. I'm always holding out for the very slight possibility, even if my wife told me a story, I recognize that I didn't experience it myself. I'm being told a story. It could be distorted. It could be misremembered. Someone could be lying to me. I don't usually entertain that notion, but if someone really if my wife came home and she's like, oh my God, this person almost ran me off the road, I would operate as if it were true. But if someone really held me to it, said, what percentage chance that her story is completely 100%, or at least, close to being accurate, I would have to think about it. I go like, well, I guess 99.9%, not 100, because I wasn't there. I don't know. It could be misremembered. People have lied to me before, not you, but people have. But I'm operating as if I'm 100%. I'm not suspicious. I don't question. I'm not even consciously thinking that. So even those situations, but particularly in situations like this, right? Like I'm always wondering and keeping it towards the middle. I'm always trying to stay open and not become convinced by videos or TV shows. There's a reason why you have court procedures that take a long time, and you have juries and experts and procedures and and cross-examination, because when you have that whole process, then you're much more likely to make sure that you don't just run away with one detail. Anyway, so one of the things that I'm noting right now, but maybe it'll come up, is that I'm not hearing any details. When I hear details, then I am the needle starts going towards believability for me. Certainly if one is lying and they're good at lying, they can give a lot of details, and if it's convincing enough, I might start going in that direction. I'm not going to peg the needle just because someone's giving details. And conversely, if someone gives no details, when it would very much serve them to do, then the needle starts to go towards less believability. It requires a lot of energy to lie. We study this in the lab. For most people, it requires a lot of energy, and we tend to gravitate towards the lowest common energy level. If you can get from A to B on the least amount of energy, we tend to do that. And so when people are trying to deceive, they don't want to have to put a lot of energy into lying because it requires energy. Plus, they have to remember those details. Plus, they have to make sure those details can't be confirmed or disconfirmed or something. So when lying, people tend to just refute the way he's doing. He did give a detail, a pretty big one. There's no police report. And that is, if that's true, then that does support what he's saying, right? Because if there is no police report, then according to him, that means it didn't happen. It's not what that means. But it is a detail that if you were trying to make your case, that you would point that out. So he's saying that detail, but we're not. I'm waiting. We're not hearing any more detail than that. So let's keep an eye on that.
Little heated over this, if you can't tell. I would like to ask some of my legal friends in the audience about something like this. So
another detail is that when she was recalling the story, she was either neutral or terrified. As she was recalling, it did look like she had a genuine visceral reaction particularly around the gun incident. Contrast that with this, that he's getting hot under the collar. Who knows? If you are accused of something like this and you've been dealing with it for a long time, of course, getting angry would be appropriate and normal, but I just want to highlight that.
A situation like this that is supposedly this severe, it doesn't matter if someone doesn't want to press charges. The police are going to make that ultimate decision, and then so is the district attorney. The reason I know that is I was falsely accused of this and had to go through the whole damn thing. I understood how anything could work at this point, just because I was on the other side of this.
So, wait. Now he's saying he was accused. All right, just chiming in here. The rest of this video will be just for members of this channel. I like to reward the members with these one-off, because most of my videos and the regular Love is Blind videos are available to everybody, but I like to make these kind of one-off videos available to members as a thank you. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.